Hi, everybody, and welcome into the show. Well, after a week off, the Tigers getting back to action as they had a home game against Florida State on Wednesday and then paid a visit to Georgia Tech in Atlanta on Saturday. Tough news, though, coming during the week as Hunter Tyson hurt his shoulder. He suffered a broken clavicle, and his timetable for return right now is not known. But that is obviously a big loss for the foreseeable future for the Clemson team. But against the Seminoles, the Tigers out-rebounded a sizable FSU squad by 13 and shot 52% in going on to the win. And let's recap the action. Here's head coach Brad Brownell with Don Munson.
Well, thanks, Pete. All right, Coach, so 2 games for us to look at this week. A great home win against Florida State, tough road trip to Atlanta, and a game against Georgia Tech.
Yeah, Florida State game was great. Tremendous productivity from just about everybody on our roster. It was kind of a fun game to be able to play everybody, get them out there. We needed them all. Thought Nas Bohannon was outstanding. Nick Honor off the bench played great, especially his scoring early in the game. Just a really good team win. I thought we defended at a really high level down the stretch to finish it off.
Yeah, the thing that I like about what this team has done is that everybody that's playing is contributing.
Yeah, and I think we need that. We're a team that has to get good contributions from several guys in order to win every night.
All right, well, let's get to highlights. First of all, for the Florida State game brought to us by our good friends at the South Carolina Education Lottery. Since 2002, more than 147,000 lottery-funded scholarships and grants have been awarded to Clemson University students. All right, so as we take a look at Florida State highlights, Coach, from the opening tip, you're going to come out and play really, really well and grab a quick lead.
Yeah, they try to trap us on a little bit of a corner play there, and PJ does a nice job of getting to the spot we need him in the middle, and he scores.
Chase Hunter just continues to play well. Now his 4th game in a row where he scored in double figures.
Yeah, good offensive confidence. This is just a really good one-on-one play. It's something we need out of Chase, his ability to get to the paint and score.
The other thing is here's Dawes, not settling for the 3, but actually stepping in and firing the 2.
Yeah, there's going to be some mid-range game against Florida State with the way they defend you. They sometimes get into the ball, so they force you to put it on the ground. This is a really good play by Nick, beating a closeout. Then they stay home with shooters, and so you're going to have to make some mid-range plays against those guys. What
we are going to consistently see throughout these highlights is that bench play. There's Nas Bohannon driving for 2, but your bench was big.
They really were. Alex Hemingway came off the bench and hit a couple of threes. Here's a nice one. Off a handoff right in the middle of the court.
Yeah, when we talk about Alex, he had 9 points in the game, so like there's 9 off the bench. Bohannon had 11, Honor had 12, so I mean that's just how big things were. You get good ball movement, good open space, and really good to see Nick knocking down an open 3.
Yeah, he had a couple of weeks there where he was struggling a bit from the perimeter, but he's bounced back nicely in the last couple outings.
All right, so there's Hunter Tyson with a 3 out of the corner. Unfortunately, some bad news for Hunter coming out of this game.
Yeah, I really hate that. Looks like he's going to be out a while with a broken clavicle.
Yeah, so that just going to have to be that next man up mentality. Speaking of just being the guy, certainly here's another play by Chase Hunter. This is athleticism that you just don't teach.
No, really good. The long Euro step there on the layup, outstanding athleticism and a really strong finish.
And then a good play by Bohannon in amongst the big guys. Now, there's some 7-footers down there that he's making baskets. Great cut back or a great pass, and then the great catch by Collins.
Yeah, nice little backdoor play we set up out of a timeout. This is another good little play where we get a little pin down action for DC at the top. He's got an option to shoot it or drive it. He decided to knock one down.
Yeah, David, by the way, is 7 for his last 11 outside of the arc, and another play by Bohannon in among the bigs.
Yeah, good offense. You can see this first half, there's plenty of good highlights. I thought we did a great job of moving the ball. We had good spacing, and we've got some angles to drive and put them in some long closeouts.
Yeah, it was a tie ball game at 30, but you finish on a 15-6 run. Matter of fact, to finish off the half, to lead by 9 at halftime, leads us into the second half of highlights. And, it's going to be a little bit of a dogfight now here in this last 20 minutes.
No, it is. Both teams kind of back and forth, early scoring. Not a lot of good defense early. Both teams making some tough shots, though. Those are 2 tough shots that we make with David and Chase making one-on-one plays. Here they get lost, and Al makes a really good pass into PJ for a dunk. Some miscommunication on their part. They end up going zone. Haven't played a lot of zone this year. They go zone against us, and we do a nice job. We run a play to get the ball inside to PJ, and he again scores with a dunk.
Yeah, PJ got into some foul trouble first half, but boy, he had a big second half, and that's a big shot by Bohannon off the baseline.
Yeah, real nice little short corner play against the zone. Here we space him and kind of run Alex on a low cut around the baseline, and he knocks down a 3. So you see we scored 3 possessions, I think out of 4 against the zone was really good. And here's one more where we get a great little gap attack drop down, and Ian Shefflin gets a chance at a dunk. I guess he ends up missing it, but PJ's right there to finish.
Yeah, good follow. Stay with it there by PJ. But, you know, Ian is a guy, grabbed 5 rebounds for you in the game.
He played pretty well. He really did. I thought he did a couple good things defensively, and as you mentioned, he rebounded the ball, which was really important against the size of Florida State.
So a little floater here by Alamir. Continues to give you the lead. It's a 3-point game, though, with 5 minutes to go. Hey, anything can happen. Your guys really stepped up to the challenge.
Yeah, really good drive. Game got tight here. Both teams, you know, really attacking the basket. We do a nice job. I thought we finished the game very well. A couple of good offensive plays, but our defense down the stretch really is what won it for us.
All right, so Clemson victorious at home over Florida State, 75-69.
Coming up, we visit with the Tigers' Nick Honor, who's come in and made a big impact in the Tigers' backcourt. It's just ahead.
Inside Clemson basketball with Brad Brownell is brought to you by Carolina Ford. Built for the Carolinas. Built Ford proud. Visit your Carolina Ford dealer today. Coca-Cola and Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Whether you're in the stands or in your living room, nothing goes better with basketball than Coca-Cola and Coca-Cola Zero Sugar.
Welcome back to the show. Well, as you know, the Clemson roster is composed of several players who began their college careers elsewhere. Among them, Nick Honor. He was a standout freshman in the Atlantic 10 before moving on from Fordham and arriving at Clemson. And more on the Florida native with Tigers on the Inside, presented by Founders Federal Credit Union. Relax, Tiger fans, with Founders Federal Credit Union.
Nick Honor from Orlando, Florida. Just growing up and, you know, hearing different things like, oh, I can't do this, or too small or too slow. I just always try to play with a chip on my shoulder and, you know, prove people wrong. Just every day, working on shots on the move and working on like my mid-range recently. Once you show other teams that you can shoot the 3-point shot and also get to the rim, they tend to run you off the 3-point line, but also kind of stay back. And that mid-range is just wide open. It's just pretty much a free shot once you get there. My coaches had preached to me pretty much every year since I've been here to talk more. So this season, I'm definitely more vocal, whether it's in the locker room or in the huddle. I would say the biggest thing with being a leader is just being authentic and real. You can give all the speeches you want to, but you have to give out specific information and specific things that you need to work on as a team. Sometimes people won't like what you say, but some things just have to be said. Ever since I was little, my mom's a school teacher, so she was very big on getting her degree and stuff like that. So just having both my parents there, seeing me walk that stage, that was a good moment for sure. The team this year, I think it's just a reflection of us spending time together on and off the floor. We're just close kind of just by, you know, being here all the time and in the gym and practicing all the time, because you're succeeding with each other and you're also having those tough moments and struggling with each other. So I think what we do a really good job of is just, you know, getting to know each person, knowing what they like, knowing what they don't like, and then, you know, just kind of putting it all together to make something special.
Now, while it's the Clemson players who deservedly get the cheers and get the acclaim, behind them is a force of students who are a huge part of what happens day to day with Clemson basketball. The team managers, and more on them as we go inside the program.
Student managers handle all the behind-the-scenes work. Like, we do laundry, we handle the equipment, setting up for practice, helping during practice. Most of our guys during warm-ups are just out on the floor rebounding, helping pass the guys, helping simulate in-game situations. And some of us are also helping set up the bench area, making sure everything is ready for coaches during the game. So I'm on every road trip and Connor is on every road trip, and then we take that third spot. We like to rotate and let everybody get a feel for it. If we're going to a certain place where one of our guys happens to be from, like near, that maybe their family could come to, we like to take those guys. Like one of our guys, Luke Farrell, is from Indiana, so he went with us to Notre Dame. But we like to have our fun the night before games. The managers of other teams will come in and we'll play a little game of our own against them. 40 minutes running clock, full court. real game. We're not where we want to be in the rankings, but we're definitely on the way up. Our 2 losses this year against top 5 teams. One thing that I've learned while doing this is everything that goes on outside of like the actual game. I didn't know much about like the business that goes on behind it, whether it's like the marketing of it or like all the planning that goes into it beforehand. So learning about that has really been interesting to me and like interests me a lot beyond my 4 years at Clemson. I think a lot of that motivation is just like we love basketball. We love Clemson, and getting to see all of this behind the scenes makes it worth it for us. Getting to connect with these coaches and these players is what makes it worth it for us. And some of us want to be in basketball longer than our 4 years at Clemson. So making these connections now is really what drives us, and getting to see everything on the road and all that kind of stuff is kind of what drives us to do what we do.
When we come back, the Tigers battle Georgia Tech in Atlanta. We'll take a look at the highlights, but first, here's what's coming up on the Clemson schedule.
All right, so the second game, Coach, that Clemson had this week was a trip to Atlanta at Georgia Tech, a team that plays very well at home.
Yeah, Mike DeVoe and Jordan Usher, 2 elite players in this league, guys that are very difficult to guard. Then you also got to deal with their zone. It's a tough matchup.
Absolutely. Let's get to highlights. It's brought to us by the Carolina Ford dealers. Built for the Carolinas, built for proud. Visit your Carolina Ford dealer today. All right, Coach, so you travel off to Atlanta. Always a tough place to play in their place.
Yeah, we've had some trouble here recently. We've been splitting a lot of these series with these guys, and today was another tough day as well.
You know, he came out early on, Chase Hunter with a basket there. They would tie the ball game up early on at 10, but then they went on a huge run, obviously go up by 16. Your club just try to club and claw and fight at the end of the first half.
Yeah, we just didn't play very well. We had way too many turnovers. We had a hard time getting the ball where we really wanted to. In the first half, and thought we just got a little anxious and panicked a little bit. We didn't get enough of those right there, runouts. We thought if we could get some stops, we could get a couple easy baskets, and we just had a hard time in the last 12 minutes of the first half of really executing.
Yeah, 18 turnovers in the ball game for your club, but you forced them into 18 turnovers as well.
Yeah, I thought our defense in the half court was really pretty good. I thought we did an unbelievable job on Mike DeVoe and pretty solid job on Usher. They had some kids step up off the bench and make some big shots, and that was probably the difference in the game. Both teams turned it over a little bit. We just had a hard time getting going. There's Al finally making a 3, and he played very well shooting the ball in the second half. His overall floor game wasn't quite as good. Here's Nick having some problems on the last play of the half. We didn't execute that very well. He got stuck kind of in no man's land.
So you're down 13 at halftime, but you're going to come back, and P.J. Hall is going to have a big second half, and Alamir is going to have a big second half.
Yeah, those 2 guys were catalysts. Al making 3s, and P.J. doing a good job of finding him in the zone a little bit more. And here we did a really good job of finding P.J. He kicks one out to Al for an open 3. So we just needed a little bit more of that, especially in the first half.
Yeah, that would able to close it down to, I think, an 8-point game with that. They would build it back up to a 10-point game, and then P.J. really started getting his game going.
Yeah, really. He's a good shooter, especially at 12 feet. We had a hard time because of the zone, and they pressure you pretty well, so it's hard to get him the ball deeper in post position. So he ends up having to shoot a lot of 10 and 12 footers. There's a really good play where we got it from PJ to Nas on a drop off. Second half execution was obviously much better. We scored 44 points. I thought we did some really good things in the second half offensively.
You know, you mentioned Nas Bohannon was big for you. 9 points, 8 rebounds without Hunter Tyson. He did what you asked him.
Yeah, I thought he fought at the position. You know, he's always a little bit undersized at times. Not as much in this game, but the ball was in his hands, and he had to make some plays for himself, other guys. Here he is trying to get one in there. We don't quite get it. PJ gets the rebound and sticks it back, but he played with good poise today. I thought Nas, he did have some turnovers, so we got to clean a few things up, but I thought he gave us solid minutes.
Absolutely. So there, the turnaround jumper by Hall again makes it a 9-point ball game. Here they're up 11, but here's an outside shot buried by Alamir, and all of a sudden, you know what? You're back into single digits again. Yeah,
it was kind of back and forth that way. We really had a couple of chances. Really good job by Chase to make the one more pass. Good pass by Alex to get it on the drift, and then Al shows some poise with the shot fake and knocks it down.
All right, so you're going to put some pressure on them coming down this stretch. Little jump hook here by P.J. Hall, but really in the last 3 minutes of the ballgame, you put some pressure on them and force them to make some plays.
No, we really did, and again, P.J. must have made 4 or 5 of those inside elbow jumpers. Every time we kind of made a run, give them credit. They had a couple kids off the bench step up and make some big shots. Here we are getting it inside out again. Really good play. Just couldn't quite get over the hump. We needed one more stop and score to really make it a one-possession game.
So the Collins little jumper there makes it a 4-point game with under a minute to go. Here it's a 5-point game. Hunter trying an outside 3 that just unfortunately wouldn't fall to end the game. And the final here in Atlanta ends up 69-64 in favor of Georgia Tech. All right, so time for our chalkboard segment. We're going to look at an entry pass to P.J. Hall from the Florida State game here, Coach. Florida State now big, athletic. They do some things differently.
Yeah, on their sideline out of bounds defense and baseline out of bounds, they do a lot of zone up where they trap you if you throw a ball near a corner. And so you got to have great spacing. It's hard to get it in, and then you got to make the right reads afterwards. We do a good job in this play with P.J. Hall. All
right, so let's take a look at this play. And first of all, a 7-footer on the inbounder, so that's one thing. Then they get here's the trap.
That's another 7-footer trapping the guy in the corner. So, you know, they do a good job of making it hard. They're going to trap you in either corner if you throw it in. Here they come get us. We make our inbounder, Chase Hunter, makes a cut to the basket trying to get a quick layup. You can see we move the defense to create some space, and now we're in a good position. We got 3 outlets, P.J. Hall in the middle. They are trapping us, but there's options to throw it. We do a really nice job of showing some poise there. P.J. meets his pass and ends up with a dunk.
Coming up, we focus on another Tiger with his jersey now hanging from the rafters at Little John, a guard who was a big spark in the 90s. It's just ahead.
Hunter Tyson with it out front between the circles on the left-handed dribble, guarded there by Butler. Crosses him over, drives it right side, lost the handle, did Tyson, but picks it back up, bounce pass inside Bohannon, and he lays it up and in.
He had to go up quickly, and he did.
We welcome you back to the show. If you've been to Little John Coliseum, you've seen that for the first time this season, Clemson greats have their jerseys hanging from the rafters. And among them, a guard who came to Rick Barnes' program in the 90s and really added spark for a program that made 3 consecutive NCAA tournament trips. We remember Tiger Legends with Tim Beret, presented by Coca-Cola and Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Whether you're in the stands or in your living room, nothing goes better with basketball than Coca-Cola and Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. This week, Terrell McIntyre.
Well, we haven't had a lot of players who were 3-time All-ACC performers, but Terrell McIntyre was 2-time second-team All-ACC and was first-team All-ACC in 1998. Quite frankly, he should have been first-team in 1999 when he led Clemson in scoring. He came to Clemson from the Fayetteville, North Carolina area, and he was a little guy, what, 5'9", 5'10", something like that. But he was so quick. He reminded me of Muggsy Bogues, quite frankly, in his ability to get up and down the court. Terrific at getting steals from the opposition by sneaking around the defense. Great three-point shooter, still second in Clemson history in three-point goals made with 259, and just the most consistent free throw shooter you could think of. Had shot 79% over his career, and his assist-to-turnover ratio was outstanding. But he was a leading scorer in the ACC as a senior, but he really kind of burst on the scene with a 27-point game against Florida State in his freshman year, as the Tigers beat a ranked Florida State team in the 1995-96 season. And we really kind of thought we've really got something here in Terrell McIntyre. The Tigers started 4 freshmen that year, and he was one of them, and certainly the ringleader of that group. Clemson was the only team in the nation to start 4 freshmen and get to the 1996 NCAA tournament. He was a big part of Clemson getting to the Sweet 16 in 1996-97, the NCAA tournament in 1998, and then to the NIT finals in 1999 when he averaged over 18 points a game. But what a terrific leader. He was just a go-to guy you could rely on every night out, and we are so glad that he has now come back to Clemson, got his degree, and is now a member of Brad Brownell's staff.
Terrell McIntyre, quite a career, one of the rare Tigers to participate in a postseason tournament in all 4 seasons playing for the Clemson team. Up next for the Tigers, a busy week. Visits by North Carolina and Duke and Notre Dame to Little John Coliseum. Hope you can make it out. Should be quite several days of basketball for the home folks watching the Clemson team play. Next week, same time, we'll look back on that action. For now, for head coach Brad Brownell and Don Munson, Pete Yanity, thanks for joining us, and so long.
Inside Clemson Basketball has been brought to you by Lending Tree. Shop and compare loans, credit cards, insurance, and more. Lending Tree. Founders Federal Credit Union. Relax, Tiger fans, with Founders Federal Credit Union. This has been a production of Clemson Athletic Properties.